The top 5 greatest comebacks in the Bible. Stories of faith, hope, and redemption that will inspire you no matter where you are today. These aren't just about winning back what was lost. They're about God turning ashes into beauty and defeats into eternal victories. The Job, from ashes to double blessing. Job was a man who had everything: wealth, health, family, influence. But in a series of devastating events, he lost it all. His livestock stolen, his servants killed, his children gone in a tragic disaster. Then came a painful disease that covered him in sores from head to toe. His friends told him to curse God. His own wife said, "Just give up." But Job didn't. Instead, in the middle of his pain, Job declared, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Job 1:21. Months passed. The nights were long. His prayers felt unanswered, yet Job stayed faithful. And then, God restored him. Not just what he lost, but double, twice the livestock, twice the wealth, and 10 more children. Job's story shows us that your loss is never final if your faith remains in God. Joseph, from prisoner to prime minister, Joseph's life looked like it was over before it began. Betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused and thrown into prison, Joseph had every reason to be bitter. But even in the pit, even in prison, Joseph remained faithful and used his gifts. Years later, Pharaoh had a dream no one could interpret except Joseph. In a single moment, Joseph went from prisoner to prime minister of Egypt, second only to Pharaoh himself. And here's the powerful part. Joseph used his position not for revenge, but for forgiveness. He told his brothers, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." Genesis 50:20. Joseph's comeback shows us that sometimes God is not just rescuing you, he's positioning you to rescue others. Naomi, from bitter to blessed, Naomi's life was shattered. A famine forced her family to leave their home. Then tragedy struck. Her husband died. Both her sons died. She was left with nothing but grief. She even renamed herself Mara, which means bitter. But God was not done. Her daughter-in-law Ruth refused to leave her side, saying, "Where you go, I will go. Your God will be my God." Ruth 1:16. Through a series of divine connections, Ruth married Boaz, a man of kindness and faith. Together, they had a son, Obed, who would become the grandfather of King David. Naomi's story reminds us, even when all seems lost, God can weave your pain into his plan for redemption. 2. Daniel, from the lion's den to royal favor. Daniel's only crime was praying to God, but that prayer landed him in a den full of hungry lions. Imagine the cold, damp stone floor, the growls in the darkness, the smell of death in the air. But that night, something miraculous happened. God sent his angel and shut the mouths of the lions. At dawn, the king rushed to the den and called out, "Daniel, has your God been able to rescue you?" Daniel replied, "My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions." Daniel 6:22. Daniel walked out unharmed. And not only was he spared, he was promoted and given even greater influence. His story teaches us, when you stay faithful, your trial becomes your testimony. Chapter Jesus Christ, from the cross to the empty tomb. No comeback in history compares to this. Jesus was betrayed, mocked, beaten, and crucified. His followers thought it was over. The grave was sealed. But on the third day, the stone rolled away, and the tomb was empty. Death had lost. Sin was defeated. This wasn't just a personal comeback. It was the greatest victory for all humanity. As Jesus said, "I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die." John 11:25. The resurrection is the ultimate proof that no matter how hopeless the situation, God has the power to bring life out of death. So whether you feel like Job in the ashes, Joseph in the pit, Naomi in grief, Daniel in the lion's den, or the disciples at the cross, remember, your story is not over. God writes the best comebacks, and yours may be next.